what professional sports leagues put into play to keep the competition fair between the rich teams and the poor teams. On a yearly basis, teams are only allocated a certain amount of cap money to be able to spend on their roster. Therefore, the richest of the rich teams can't go out and just buy every single player that they want to, which would pretty much make things very unfair. Although in baseball, like today, we have the World Series between the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays, where literally Mookie Betts himself and his contract has about the same exact value as the entire Tampa Bay Rays organization. So there can be Cinderella stories, but the one problem as of late, since the NFL has adapted the salary cap, is we don't know what would happen if there was no salary cap. That was until today, because thanks to Madden 21 and Madden Scientific Research, what we can do is hop over into the options tabs, click the settings, go down to salary cap, and voila, it is now off. For today's video, we're going to see what would happen to the NFL if the salary cap didn't exist. Will we see the rich teams in big markets like the Dallas Cowboys, like the New England Patriots, just go out and spend as much money as they possibly can to make the best team possible? And are we going to see the small market teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars, even like Tennessee Titans, not be able to spend a lot of money and just completely just fall out and just go 0-16 every single season? Today, thanks to Madden Science, we find out that answer.
Eat corn and get RBT to 1 million subscribers by Christmas. Eat your corn. Love your corn. But you need to get RBT to 1 million subscribers by Christmas.
So hopefully you guys do enjoy today's Madden Scientific video, and if you do, make sure to smash a huge thumbs up. Make sure, most importantly, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because if and only if we do hit 1 million subscribers by the end of the year, we'll be doing a huge next-gen console giveaway to my subscribers and subscribers only. A total value of like $2,000 being given away, but that's if and only if we do hit 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. So make sure to take that millisecond that it does take to click that subscription button if you haven't. With that said, what we are going to do is simulate, let's go 4 seasons and see what the heck happens in the NFL. We're picking up where the NFL has kind of like left off in real life, week 7, as that's what games are being played today. So really what we get to see off the bat is what Madden 21 and EA Sports thinks going to happen the rest of this regular season. As with that said, let's go ahead and simulate to Super Bowl 55. Wow, would you look at that? That's actually hilarious. It's my Tennessee Titans versus the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 55. Guess it really doesn't matter, so we'll go ahead and just simulate to next week. The most important and intriguing thing is what's going to happen in free agency. Wow. Hopefully that doesn't happen in real life, so that's embarrassing. So towards the end of the first offseason, and we're going to see what NFL players have signed where without there being a salary cap. We're going to see like the Cowboys sign every single player. I think there's still one more week, so this should be towards the end of it. Rob Gronkowski's still out there, but let's see the league signings. Top 100, first player, Trent Williams goes back to the Washington football team. Desmond King to the Jags. James White to the Colts. There actually wasn't that many good free agents. Corey Davis goes to the Patriots. Oh man, we've lost a lot of good players. Jaylen Brown goes to the Panthers. Trey Burton to the Jets. Ndamukong's to the Raiders. Washington football team signs Kendrick Bourne. Jonnu Smith goes to the Bengals. We did lose a ton of players. Now we see the Washington football team. Now this is kind of awkward, but to be completely honest, there wasn't anything really funky because this first offseason there really wasn't much going on. But when we see the Bengals signing a few players, now with that said, let's go ahead and simulate to the end of season, I guess technically number 1 for today's video, and see how the results end up after there being no salary cap for one offseason. So this is where things start to get serious. So we're into the playoffs. Let's see what funkiness has gone down. We had the worst record in the league. We lost a ton of players. The AFC South is won by a team that went 8-8. That's how the division normally is. Best record goes to the Eagles. Ravens go 12-4. Patriots go 12-4. Cleveland goes 11-5. So a lot of the these are pretty big markets right here. Cowboys up there at 10-6, finally having a good season. Bills, a decent sized market, going 10-6. Same thing with New Orleans. Worst record in the league after this season is going to go to the Miami Dolphins at 3-13. Now let's check out the MVP race, see who won it this season. Once again, there's nothing really funky happening just yet. I think the most is going to happen maybe this offseason or 2 offseasons down the line. We still have 3 more seasons now that we are going to simulate. MVP this season is going to go to Baker Mayfield, so that's already funky. Matt Ryan, Lamar, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, Nick Mullins on the Saints. So the Saints had all the money in the world to get a replacement for Drew Brees, who apparently retired, and they got Nick Mullins. They could even re-sign Jameis Winston, but he goes to the Colts. So that's pretty much the first funky thing that we have seen so far. I say all that, and god dang Nick Mullins is in the Super Bowl versus Lamar Jackson. God dang Nicholas Mullins wins the Super Bowl. Already the video is just funky, and the video is funky, but not as funky as it could have been, because Lamar Jackson does defeat Nick Mullins in Super Bowl 56. Now I'm excited about this right here. I want to see who is even available. Like, I want to make some predictions really quick. Available free agents. We have, J.J. Watt, David DeCastro, Jason Kelsey, Harrison Smith, Mike McGlinchey. And another thing that I just now thought about is also kind of another part of today's video. They might not even let their best of best players in the free agency, because if they have a player that they want to go ahead and re-sign, they have all the money in the world to do so. So now that I think about it, we might not actually have that many players that are great make it to free agency, but we have J.J. Watt, that's a pretty good one, David DeCastro. So I think the Cowboys, out of the top 10, the Cowboys will sign 2 of these players. That's my prediction. Wait, why is it not letting me look at the free agents? I'm so confused. Do we have to go to transactions for some reason? So I guess we have to look at it this way. That's stupid. Dallas Goedert goes to the Bills. Mike Pouncey back to the Dolphins. Didn't he play for the Dolphins for a while early on in his career? What's the big ones? David Njoku, a big contract to the Panthers. Panthers signing quite a bit of folks right here. The Saints signing a few guys for nothing too crazy. Kawan Short going to the Bills. You've seen them sign a lot of players. Quincy Williams to the 49ers. Russell Gage, who I stand, one of my favorite players in the league. He goes to the Bills, who are also signing a lot of players. The Jags signing Jordan Reed and Phillip Lindsay. Kerryon Johnson to the football team. They have a bunch of good running backs now. Alejandro Villanueva back to the Steelers. Rick Wagner to the Seahawks. So there's just really not been anything way too wild. J.J. Watt to the LA Rams. Now that is probably the funkiest thing we've seen so far. They now have J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald both rostered on that defensive line. That is absolutely ridiculous. Harrison Smith goes to the Steelers, so their defense is already good, gets even better. Like, I'm shocked though. Can we go by team and see who the Cowboys and Patriots sign? Cowboys really, they didn't sign anybody. The most expensive player they signed was Hakeem Butler to a $2 million deal. Now let's go see who the Patriots signed. Like, anybody good? Once again, like, nobody really that expensive. The most expensive deal was Jake Dogala to a $2 million deal. So once again, I'm kind of shocked that the big market teams really aren't spending much. But it is interesting though to see random teams being the ones that are splashing the cash. Like the football team signed a lot of players, the Bills signed a lot of players, the Panthers signed a couple. So right now, just funky. So wow, Ravens now have a chance to go back-to-back. So the Ravens being able to splash a lot of cash to build around Lamar Jackson and offense to make them even better than what they already are, obviously is working well for them, because they're in the second consecutive Super Bowl with a chance to win back-to-back Super Bowls. Now, best record in the league this time around is going to go to the Ravens at 13-3. Seahawks, another big market team, at 13-3. Packers up there, Cowboys still making the playoffs. Any small market teams really making the playoffs? I mean, my Titans did. Cardinals aren't really necessarily small market. And the worst record in the league is going to go to the Dolphins once again. They suck at 2-14. I don't know. They can't rebuild. They have all the money in the world to sign everybody possible, yet they still freaking suck. MVP is going to go to Patrick Mahomes. That's not a shocker. First time we've seen in a lot of these simulation videos I've done a running back in a very, very long time. Sam Donald's there at number 5. Do the Ravens win back-to-back Super Bowls? If they do, I want to go see their roster. Like, see who they even signed to make their team that good. And they do. Like, imagine though, the Ravens and like the Chiefs, for example, being as good as they are and being able to give Patrick Mahomes $500 million and who knows how much you're going to pay Lamar Jackson, and then still having as much money as possible, a freaking blank check to sign whoever they want to. Ravens, Lamar Jackson obviously up to a 99 rated. Running back, they have J.K. Dobbins still, so really haven't splashed the cash on running back yet. Wide receiver, I mean, they haven't. They've just been getting guys through the draft like Hollywood Brown, Devin Duvernay, Willie Snead, tight end. You still have Mark Andrews. My God, do they really not sign anybody? Is this literally players all through the draft? Bradley Bozeman? Wow, I really don't see anybody that they've signed for a lot of money. I mean, obviously, you gotta look at the defense. John Simon, he could be new. Clyde Campbell is still there. It's like a 95-year-old linebacker core. It's like the same guy. They literally, all they've done is kept around. Jalen Ferguson could be different, but they've just kept around like the normal guys. So like, I don't even think they've hardly spent any money. There might have been 1 or 2 decent guys thrown in there, but they've just stuck with what they had initially. So another session of offseason free agency down the drain. Now let's go and see who the heck is signed up to this point. I'm excited. I want to be seeing some crazy stuff. There's nobody over a 90 rated. Wow, what's going on? Kareem Hunt to the Chargers. Josh Allen to the Jets, Rodney Hudson back to the Raiders. Matthew to the Bengals. Bobby Wagner, an interesting one, to the Lions, but he's down to an 85 rated. So this really isn't going how I expected. I guess at the end of the day, what's going on the most? Cam Newton is a big QB back to the Patriots, but at the same time, it's literally just like the teams are keeping their best talent by just giving them whatever contract they want. So one thing I do want to see before I simulate to the end of the next season is I want to test that theory. Like, do they re-sign Lamar Jackson to like a crazy deal or something? 5-year deal worth $112 million. I mean, obviously that's a lot of money, but when you think that like Patrick Mahomes' deal was what was his deal, like 400 million, something crazy? $500 million. $500 million, so like Lamar only gets not even like barely a fifth of that. So poor Ravens, you don't get your third consecutive Super Bowl. Seahawks and Bengals, so Joseph Burrow finally makes his way to Super Bowl 58. Now let's check out the rest of the league. We were kind of stinky at 8-8. Best record goes to the Ravens, so they didn't quite make the Super Bowl for the third consecutive year, but they still had the best record in the league for the third consecutive year. Cowboys still up there, but no Super Bowl for them. Seahawks went 10-6 on the year. Bills have pretty much had a good year every single time. I think this is the first time we've seen the Bucks and Giants in the playoffs. We've seen, you know, the Jets and Panthers and Lions all signing a ton of players out of free agency, so it doesn't shock me that they're kind of up there making the playoffs. Worst record in the league goes to the Cardinals this time, so at least the Dolphins aren't the worst of the worst. Tom Brady is still in the league? Dog, he's got to be 50. I'm so confused. I've never seen him stay in the league this long in a franchise ever. That makes me so happy. How old is he? He's 47 years old, still slinging the ball around. All right, let's see what Joseph can do in his first Super Bowl in his young career still. Super Bowl 58, he gets the W. I want to see some funkiness, though. Please give me some big names in this free agent pool. Like, give me some 95-plus overall quarterback. It's going to be 96 overall, 33 years of age, Fletcher Cox. Aside from that, I mean, there's nothing too wild. I mean, you have Jeff Okudah, who's okay. You have Isaiah Simmons, who's pretty good. Devin Funchess to the Falcons. Like, there's some decent players, but nobody really crazy. And, like, I just want to see, like, a Mahomes, a Lamar. I want to see a Russell Wilson as a free agent. Somebody drop, like, $800 million on them because they can. Jonathan Taylor to the Broncos for about 20 mil. Cam Newton signs a 1-year deal with the Vikings for 25.8 mil. Chase Claypool, that's an interesting one, going from the Steelers to the Eagles for 18.2 mil. Isaiah Simmons went to the Texans, one of the biggest free agents of the year. Darius Slay, a big one to the Bengals. Jordan Love to the Bucks on a $52.7 million deal. Is that to replace Tom Brady? Poor Thomas. You play so well into almost your 50s, and you get replaced by Jordan Love. Broncos signed Taylor Lewan off my Titans for a $13 million deal. Jeff Okudah, $4 million deal, $56.8 million. The Texans might be the team to make the run this year. I've seen the Texans sign so many good players. They get a guy for 1.7 mil, Luke Friedman for 7 mil, Darrell Henderson for 9 mil, T. Higgins for 8 mil, this guy for 10 mil, Isaiah Simmons for 31, Billy Price for 2, Jeff Okudah for 56, Marlon Davidson for 14, a mil? Jesus Christ, that had to be 100 mil spent in one offseason. Finally have one team actually using their resources to their advantage. So that's my prediction. Texans make the playoffs, finally. Smart team. I swear to God, I'm a god dang genius. Super Bowl 59, the two Texas teams. The Cowboys, obviously one of the bigger market teams in all of football, they make it, but then the Texans, the one who I pointed out, splashed a huge amount of cash in the offseason. Come on, make me look good, Texans. Oh my. Final batch of offseason free agents that we're going to see in today's video. Come on, just one player that's funky. One funky player. Gonna be okay, Stephon Gilmore. I mean, it might be a 34-year-old, but he's still a 90-plus rated. Come on, EA Sports, show me something funky. League signings, it goes to the Bengals, who've already won a Super Bowl in today's video. Teron Armstead to the Steelers. Keenan Allen back to the Chargers. Jags. Patriots signed 2 running backs, both 84 overall. I don't know what that's necessarily going to accomplish for us. Theory's not correct. Texans really didn't sign anybody. Final season, somebody shocked me. Something insane happened here. So I guess at the end of the day, if the Cowboys end up winning Super Bowl 60, that would be very fitting for the topic of today's video, because that would mean the big market team that we were talking about at the beginning ends off by winning 2 consecutive Super Bowls. At the same time, we have the freaking Browns, so one way or another, we're going to have a funky ending here. But as always, to finish off today's video, it seems like the Ravens did kind of die down a little bit. I say that, like, they still were making the playoffs every single season. At least the Dolphins, it takes them like 8 or 9 years, but they still finally make it to the playoffs. Worst record in the league to end off today's video is going to go to the Steelers at 4-12, although they have signed quite a few players in today's video. MVP, I want to see something funky. I want to see a 75-year-old Thomas Brady win the MVP, and nah, it's just going to be Lamar Jackson for the 800th time. What funky ending is fate going to choose? The back-to-back Lombardi trophies for the Cowboys or a freaking Super Bowl for the Browns? And the Browns won the Super Bowl. Everybody take cover because the world is ending.